So welcome everyone to the Libra full moon eclipse ceremony. Woohoo! Talk about a ride. Let's call in sacred space. All right. Let's all take that big deep breath in and just drop. Send all your energies, your roots, your taproot, send it all down. So you don't, here in the Midwest, it is the windiest I've ever seen it, except if we're in a tornado. It is very, very intense out there. So ground so you can anchor. I felt this energy move in last night. Inhale, draw that earth energy up, up, up through your body. Send it up and out all the way to source above us. And then inhale that source light down through your body. Send it all the way down into the earth, activating the as above, so below flow. Connecting with that flow, breathing in and breathing out. Activate the as within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give such great thanks to be here now, anchoring this energy on the planet. Moving to the south, we welcome water and clear, clean current emotions. We welcome love and joy, abundance, and flow. Moving to the west, we welcome air, mind, thought, the unseen realm that contains all of our helpers, guides, and angels. We welcome that in. Moving to the east, we welcome fire, movement, passion, divine right action. Moving to the center, we call in our divine feminine and our divine masculine and sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful energy down through our bodies. We call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. We welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into this circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, and dance with us for our mutual benefit. Aho. Okay, that always feels so much better. We get those juices flowing a bit. All right. There's a lot going on, folks. A lot. So, just as a check-in point, we just did this last week with the equinox. Equinox, yeah, equinox. Um, and so just notice if you remember, if you feel any different, drop into your body, drop into your heart, but let yourself feel, how are you doing? Just drop in, slow down and breathe. And just notice, because the energies that are out there and surrounding us now can hit us in a variety of ways. And we're going to talk about as many of those as I can come up with. But because, well, there are a lot of reasons. It's just going to be anybody's guess. I'm going to tell you what's happening. I'm going to tell you the potentials. I'm going to show you the cards I pulled, but you are going to have to really sink in deep to get your guidance on exactly what you need to release. So let's dive in here. So, as a cosmic multidimensional event, that's what we're experiencing. And it's not just one day, it's for a while. So eclipses are the most powerful transits of the year. They open accelerated gateways to higher dimensions. Now, that sounds all mystical and magical, but what that means is that galactic light is going to hit the planet hard, and there's going to be portal ways open that will catalyze whatever you're holding. So it behooves us now. We've just hit it. It happened at 2 this morning, 2 Central Time this morning. So, and of course, 24 hours before, many of us were feeling it yesterday, and sometimes even farther back. So it can have a very creative purpose. It's, you could, I don't know who's scribbling on my screen, but please quit that. I don't know how that's happening. I hope it goes away on the next slide. All right. Anyway, it's an energetic container for accelerated cosmic recalibration and transformation. So all of us have known this time on the planet was coming. It says often expediting the inevitable fated events. So we've known it. We've known it's time to change. We've known it's time to transform. So eclipses are a window, and because this one is this eclipse window, because there's several of them every 2 weeks for a bit, and then we have a break, and then there's more. So that's the whole window. That's why this whole energy lasts for about 6 months, because we're going to move through this process of transformation. So this is like, I knew I should have cleaned out that closet because the mice got into whatever, or I knew I should have checked the time or my bank account or whatever the things that you have been putting off because you don't want to deal with it. Just settle, just surrender. Just give into it because it's here and it's going to happen. That's what that's saying. So it happened the official event took place this morning at 2 a.m. Like I said, its effects last for about 6 months. So if it was just Libra and just a Libra full moon, we'd be thinking about releasing things that are affecting our relationships, our creativity, balance, harmony. Libra is ruled by Venus. So it's all about love and getting along and all of that. When it's eclipsed like it is, it makes it more intense. So there were many, you've probably heard, this is like the make it or break it full moon. If you're in a relationship and you've been working things out, scratching back and forth, this is a time when it could pop, and whatever's going to happen or whatever needs to happen will happen, or at least you'll have an opportunity to allow it to happen. And here's why I said it can be all over the place, because the strongest connection right now is this super tight, what they call a sesquare, which is a little bit angular, but it's close, with Uranus. So on the upside, it'll encourage you to be your authentic self, follow those intuitive hits, and serve others in your favorite kind of way. Uranus is also about, just like Libra, love, community, equality. And yet, it's also about surprises. It's like a, what are those things that you pull, and like a boomerang. It can go either way, and it can come back and smack you. Or it can be the best surprise that you could imagine. It just depends on what karmic things are lined up for you. Okay, we have this scribble for the rest of the time. Other aspects. So Pluto is in a trine with the moon. And so once again, Pluto is about the underworld, and anything that is buried in the deep is going to be sifted to the surface. But it also can help you empower yourself in the area of money and prosperity. So once again, this is like, it could go either way. There's also an opposition with Neptune, which means that, Neptune, it can carry really soft energy like Pisces. It can have that big love feeling. So like I said, there is the opportunity for this to be a flowing, graceful transformation, or not. So I'm going to give you the big skinny. It's unpredictable. Even if it wasn't in Uranus, eclipses are always unpredictable. And part of that is because we don't always know all of our karma. We don't always know what's buried underneath things. And when an eclipse happens, like there were indigenous, when the indigenous people were way more predominant on the planet, and I'm sure they still do this now, they were very cognizant of these kinds of events. And they spent days in prayer, in meditation, really, stopping everything and going within, because they knew the power and the potency of this time on the planet. It's not just about our little planet and our little moon. It's a doorway that opens both ways. So lots more cosmic energy can come in right now, which also makes things feel a little wobbly. Now, We're in the relationship sector with Libra, so it will illuminate the true nature. This one's all about exposing the truth. It will illuminate the true nature of relationships, prompting closure and completion of karmic contracts. So if you're in relationships who you've completed everything you needed to complete with those people, then it may be time to shift the relationship a little bit. And if you can lean in to those truths rather than fighting it, it will go very, very smoothly. Remember, Libra is all about making sure that everyone has a chance to be heard. So it's right, isn't it, Karen? She says, it's an interesting time to be here on the planet. Yes, sirree. So we're being urged to embody authenticity and self-respect in interactions for deeper connections, where we'll see significant shifts align individuals with their destined paths. So if there is something that you're supposed to be doing and you keep putting it off, this window, and it's a big window, is going to, it has the potential to set you up to do that. So, the watchword is don't fight it. If there's a change coming, allow it to happen. Let's see here. And then set the bar for what you're going to allow into your life and what you're going to not tolerate anymore. I mean, really get firm on that, get clear on that. This moon is magnifying and illuminating endings and completions of cycles that are occurring on the edge of new beginnings. So this is a south node of destiny lunar eclipse. So it's really here. I mean, and we've been saying this, I can't tell you how many years we've been saying it, but we're really wiping the slate clean. We're really getting down to the nitty-gritty and going, okay, let's do something new. Let's think outside the box. Let's do something new. It can also, because of that, for those of us that have lots of attachments or feel very vulnerable, because everything's been wobbly for a while. So there could be, I have noticed myself, I don't know, around Christmas time when they play all the Hallmark commercials and you get all teary-eyed if you see them back in the day when I used to watch TV. I've had lots of moments like that for no reason. You'll see a puppy across the street and you'll just burst into tears. Or you'll feel real emotional. My daughter, the other day, we watched this movie it was very good, but it was very sad. And she's like, I just went to my bed and cried for 30 minutes. I thought of everything that I was worried about and cried and just cried about it, which was probably good for her. So it could feel like an emotional purge. And if it is, that could also show up like anger snaps, anger outbursts, because whatever you've been trying to keep a lid on, Mount Vesuvius could happen. So burp the Tupperware and go ahead and lean in a little bit so that you don't explode on other people. Because here's the thing, this is going to highlight what is out of alignment and will expose the truth, period. So if there are things that are questionable, you're going to find out. And, we're becoming more and more psychic on this planet. So you probably already know anyway. And it may just be time to listen. Now, we know just energetically, and if you've been here for very long, this time of year, if you read like what's the grandmother this time? Weighs the Truth. If you follow the Jamie Sam's book, The 13 Original Clan Mothers, the month of March is the grandmother weighs the truth. And that medicine story, oh my goodness, there's so much scratchiness in there with people not being able to get along because it's the end of the winter. In traditional places, like indigenous places, food stores are going to be low. People are going to be edgy. The weather's trying to shift. So all of us feel that edge. That's just normal for this time of year. But all of you are well aware that it's kind of like a roller coaster out there. And events and emotions can feel like they're smacking you around. There could be, and it can show up in your physical body: eating, sleeping disorders, headaches, impatience, fatigue, mood swings. This is the time not to try to force anything. It's like, what can I cancel? And I'm just going to sit. I'm going to have a cup of tea. I'm going to drop into my heart. I'm going to talk to my soul. I'm going to nourish myself so that I can move through this time with grace and ease. Because it's not going to last very long. And what's on the other side is good. But it's only going to be as good as what you release now. It's like, this isn't a time to go, yeah, I'll do it next month. No, now. Things like addictions, toxic patterns, unhealthy connections, all of those, if you are wise, you will get them out of your way in the next 2 weeks before April the 8th, because that, if you have to be totally comatose not to know that that's when the solar eclipse that everyone's going to be able to see, that's going to cross the United States and various and sundry other continents, that's going to happen. And it had a sister eclipse that took place back in August, I believe, of 2017. So the transformation from then to now, that may give you a marker if you need to look for what are the things. Oh, happy birthday, Carolyn. If you need to look for the things that you need to shift, that could give you a window. I was ending a 17-year relationship at that very moment back then. And so I am at a completion of a cycle. I need to pay attention to that. Look for things like that. Because the other thing that is happening, it's like, and that is in Aries. That's a solar eclipse in Aries. Aries is battle. Aries is let's move forward. So if you want to move forward in your life, if you want to create, if you want to whatever, then get everything out of the way. The other thing that's happening April 1st, Mercury's going retrograde, which for me, I'm just like, oh, dear Lord, thank you. One planet that isn't going direct, so you don't have to feel like you're going to a race every single day. You can slow down and integrate and reflect. But, and I would suggest you do that today or within this window so that you can really settle and look clearly at your life, where you are now, where you want to go in the future. Because the other thing that's happening in this window, ascension codes are streaming in, lots of them. So this isn't like a suggestion. It's like the cosmic forces are going, can't put it off anymore. We're done. We're done messing with you. If you do not want to wake up, we will wake you up. And so a lot of times when those DNA upgrades happen, many people have flu-like symptoms. And now they're just going to feel more intense. We have had these in the past without galactic light, and they were intense. Having them now, because we're at the galactic rim and we're getting galactic light now, and it's not just kind of hanging out, it's getting bigger. There's more, it's like we don't pause, it's moving. So that opening is continuing to open. So those are going to trigger those upgrades. Some people call that ascension flu, but it's just yeah. Karen says we're also at solar cycle 25 max now. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds pretty intense. Those extremely high frequencies trigger all of those weird things that you feel in your body. And what is trying to also happen is 3D programming and conditioning. And y'all, if you're sitting in front of a screen, which you are now, you're getting programmed. So as much as you can, if you want to help yourself and your body, turn them off. Give yourself an electronics fast. Oh, Christina, I'm so sorry. Yeah. And Karen put a link in the chat that will explain, looks like solar weather, something like that. So it will explain that. What I'm sure that is what intensifies all of the wind when we have those kinds of intensities. And all the solar flares will cause that wind to happen. So it's like I went out and ran some errands this morning, and I love that you said that, Christina. If you look in the chat, she says, where did it go? It's all good, uncomfortable, but sure productive. So congratulations, Erica. That's awesome. That would be very cool for you. And we will hold space for that. So this is a time to step out of your comfort zone and find the highest version of yourself. So give yourself some time to do that, to just be quiet and sit and let the truth of you sift to the top. And then along with that, because this is trauma clearing, who do you need to forgive? Who do you need to let go of? What do you need to do to follow your dreams? And how can you do that? Those are the things you need to start looking at. Or it's like it's way time. It's like it's a time of reckoning, I think is a good way to put that. So get your journals out. These are just some thought questions that you can journal with a little bit as you get ready to set intentions. And I'll give you some time with these, and then we'll start looking at the cards and see what they tell us to do. I know, Susie, if I play music, um, they'll kick me off of YouTube because the music I have is really loud and rowdy. That's the only one that I have that's free. So I don't play it during this part. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you to write down these questions before I move the slide. If you're not finished, because this could take you hours, could take me hours. I wrote the questions down. Um, Something else I do want to speak into while you're journaling is the potency and power of this time. Because it is so potent. It can be volatile on many levels, not just your personal level. So the more we hold peace and stability, safety and protection for the whole planet, that's what the indigenous people knew, that it wasn't just about them. It wasn't just about their survival. They were here to be the blanket of protection for her. So with all of the velocity of everybody's emotions and power-hungry people, the whole of us can shift the energy just by what we hold. So that's why indigenous folks go into prayer during these times. It's like everything you put out there energetically is magnified 100-fold. All of the energies come to join you and pray with you. So hold that knowing and hold that around yourselves and your families, but especially around the planet we live on. Oh, sure, Val. She wants to know how long you can take. I'm going to be journaling with these questions for a minute. I mean, for a long time, several minutes. So yeah, if you need to take a few days to Do that. Of course, do that. So I found this little quote and I thought it would be perfect. I'll put it, it's from Daily Ohm. I'll put it in the email so that y'all can do something with it. It says, I am in tune with the cycles of nature. I allow life to flow through me freely. I surrender all fear and doubts. I release lower vibrational frequencies. I am open to receiving what is meant for me. I am perfectly aligned with my higher purpose. I release pain and suffering as a means to grow. So those of you that still get symptomatic, release that. Let them teach you and tell them to teach you another way, and they will. I am full of endless potential, and I trust the journey I am on. Yeah, for sure, Donna. Okay, let's look at the cards here. So I thought this was appropriate, but I love Taurus. Taurus is the enjoyer, and it's all about the earth. It says, this card speaks to our ability to enjoy being in the physical body. So when we're sitting in the earth door, I need to write this down. When we're sitting in the earth door, how can we, instead of looking at everything that's wrong, how can we enjoy our life? Folks with this energy love this planet and all the experiences she provides. There's no place else in the universe you can go and have the experience you can have here. This is the very personal level of the earth archetype, and it can teach us the value of enjoying the earthly realm, how to love all that looks beautiful, tastes delicious, and feels pleasurable. She can also teach us how to acquire the means to receive all the exquisite things and gratifications the physical realm has to offer. From Taurus, we can also learn how to take solid steps to fulfill our desires for possessions, wealth, and security. Taurus helps us connect to the divine through savoring and enjoying intimacy through the body senses. So the sun is going to move into Taurus April 20th, just right after that eclipse, and it'll be there for a month. So ask the earth and Taurus, what do you need to release so you can begin to enjoy your life? Water. I thought this was very appropriate for this time. I'll put y'all up here for a minute. Adapt. Many times in the physical realm, things might not go just exactly like we planned. Remember that Uranus, and he's full of surprises? Water teaches us that during these times, rather than scrapping the plan altogether, we can learn to go with the flow and adapt our plans to fit the circumstances at hand. We may not always be able to complete the project as we originally intended, but learning to adapt can help us achieve the outcomes we desire. So ask water if there's a way, and especially in this time of releasing and letting go and relationships in flux, ask water where or how you need to adapt to fit the circumstances you find yourself in. You know, it also speaks to flexibility. Vern put an interview in the chat about water. That looks interesting. I can hear somebody. Hang on here. There we go. All right. Oops, sorry. So in the air door, holding with the mind. In the wheel of creation, air, which is Libra, actually, lives in the West. Here it has the job of holding. Since the mind governs the world of air and thought, we can think of this as holding with the mind, which is just what we were speaking into earlier. This is an excellent doorway. It's like, what is the planet you thought you were coming to? What does she look like? How do people behave on her? Hold that. Hold the image of that as it is already happening in your mind. All the portal ways are open right now. That's the intent. That is the image. That is the vision that we hold for the future generations. That all of us get our heads out of the sand and clean up the friggin' oceans and do all the things that we need to do so our kids have a place to grow up and their kids have a place to grow up. What this implies is that once we know the outcome we desire, we can hold the image of it fully completed. Lush, beautiful forests, gardens, people that, there's no more scuffling over what we need to do or how we need to eat or what chemicals we need to take out of whatever. It's like we just do it. Because here's the thing, our mind doesn't know the difference between a thought and reality. And so it moves to create whatever we are holding. So many of us well-meaning tree huggers, you can hear my voice, we might be holding a little anger. We might be holding a little fear. We might be, indignant and, all of those things. That's what's going to get created out there. So we have to find our Zen, and now's the perfect moment to do that. Our job is to hold our desired outcome in our minds, no matter what is out picturing in front of us. So if you have to close your eyes really tight and find your happy place a lot, this would be the time to do that. It can take a little practice at first, but once our mind gets addicted to the good feeling chemicals that this practice stimulates, it'll get easier. It may take a while for the outcome to manifest in the outer world, but we are already having the experience in our minds and can remain content until it does. So, what are the outcomes that you need to hold in your mind? And you can also, we're getting ready to move to the action door, be asking yourself, how can I contribute to those outcomes? Even if they're global, are there places in my personal world that I can make a shift in my behavior that over time will have a positive effect? Because you're going to want to energize all those outcomes. That's the card I pulled in the fire door. Fire is pure energy in motion. It can bring energy and life force to any situation. This is where we get the phrase, light a fire under them. That's going to make something move. Fire can literally cause anything to move and move quickly. So what needs to be energized or moved in your life right now? Where do you need more energy to move you forward? Motivation. How can fire help you energize your creations? Where do you need more movement? Ask fire to help you energize your actions to move your projects forward. I just think this is such a beautiful draw. It's like exactly what we need right now. Connect to the earth, adapt your circumstances, hold what you really want in your mind, and then energize what you're holding. Ah, it's exquisite. There's more. Spirit, the divine masculine. The masculine aspect of the divine is much more known to us in the Western world. Called by many names, Osiris, Odin, Vishnu, Krishna, Jehovah, or simply God, this aspect speaks to forward movement and assistance in all things active. Now, one thing that I don't have in this card, but that you need to remember, even though it may not show up in your outside world this way, the nature of the divine masculine is to give, to heart-centered giving. That may not be what outpictures around us a lot. There hasn't been a lot of good examples of that all the time. But that is the nature of the divine masculine. He is here to support the divine feminine. He's the perfect balance for her. And together they create balance in the world. Working with both aspects, whether you are male or female, will help you balance your creative endeavors and give you peace. So where do you need to call in the assistance of the divine masculine? Yeah, that does feel pretty inspiring, doesn't it, Carolyn? I love that. Yeah, when you get your hands on an open-hearted man, don't let him go. So I'll give you a few more minutes with all of those to write down anything you need to write down. And then go ahead and set an intention for the full moon lunar eclipse. Either one, Valerie. Valerie wants to know, how long do you have to set intentions? So here's the thing. The peak moment started at 2 a.m. And usually if you want in that energy window, it's 24 hours before and 24 hours after, or 2 a.m. my time. So a few hours ago, about 10 hours ago. So you have that window. But what all of you need to know is that this is the opening of the eclipse portal. So you may want to set some intentions for right now. Like, what do I need to release? All of those immediate ones. But then let yourself sit in this juice. Let yourself sit in this, because not only do our intentions go out there. I mean, we talked last week about how we had that, at the equinox windows, the veil is very thin and there's cracks in it. So lots of energy and information can get through. That stuff comes both ways. So you can sit in it and get guidance from it about, like, think about, where do I want to be in 6 months? Where do I want to be in a year? What needs to be cleaned out so that by the time April 8th gets here, I can start a new plan? So it's like, you may want to do just a few little intentions now, but then sit in the juice and really map your life. If you have the luxury of doing that, do it. Okay. Well, we're going to get up and move and activate all the things that we've put in motion. But once again, yeah, you can sit for a few days or so, Val. Absolutely. And, just light a candle, dance, pull some cards, connect. You know the drills. All of you do. We've done this a lot. Okay, here we go. Let's get up and move. night, everyone. Be safe out there. I give thanks to the elemental forces for holding space for us today. So fun. I give thanks for all of these spirit warriors that are doing their work. And I close this circle in the light. All right, lovelies. I will see you soon. So good to see all of you.